Hello students, welcome back once again to the online lectures of design of precious concrete structures. So today again we are here to revise the part of first module, that is the discussion over load balancing method. Okay, so we are going to solve another two types of problems in for the stress calculation using load balancing method. Okay, so I'll read out the statement of the problem here now. A rectangular concrete beam 300 mm deep and 800 mm wide supports two concentrated loads of 20 kilonewton each at the third point of a span. Suggest a suitable cable profile if the eccentricity of the cable profile is 100 mm for the middle third portion of the beam. Calculate the precessing force required to balance the bending effect of the concentrated loads. Neglect sulfate. For the same cable profile, find the effective force in the cable. If the resultant stress due to sulfate, imposed load and precessing force is 0 at the bottom fiber of the mid-span section. Okay, so we have to find out here. You have to suggest a suitable cable profile, and for the same cable profile find the effective force in the cable if the resultant stress due to sulfate and imposed load and the precessing force is 0 at the bottom fiber of the mid-span section. Okay, so this is the given statement of the problem. Okay, now apart from the given question, we have the data W, then the eccentricity is given, span is given, precessing force we don't know, area I we can calculate based on the cross section. Okay, so now even you can calculate Z I by Y. Okay, now they are given the profile is trapezoidal and load acting, that is 20 kilonewton, two concentrated loads. Okay, so now for load balancing, WB into A, that is WB into A. So this is A. So this is A is equal to P into E, which is given as 3000. So WB into A, E is given, A is given as 3 meter, P into E. So here we can find out very easily the precessing force P. So we got 600 kilonewton. After that we got the second condition, that the WL is 20 kilonewton again. So here you have to consider the sulfate WD. In the first case we don't have to consider that, but in second case we have to consider. Then RARB we got this. Then MD is equal to WD L square by 8, and ML is equal to, again taking a movement about this thing. So we got 20 into 4.5, 20 into 4.5 minus 20 into 1.5, we got 16 kilonewton meter. So MD is again MD by Z, we got an ML by Z this. Okay, so now therefore MD by Z, ML by Z, then P by A. So P is unknown here, because you have to find out the precessing force here. Again, then P by Z also again unknown, so you can get these two. Okay, in terms of P. So then when you substitute here, so one condition, this is very important here. Now this is very important. What they have asked, we have to find out the resultant stresses is equal to 0 at the bottom. 0 at the bottom means this sign convention is very important. Okay, bottom means tension, so we have to take minus and compression plus. Okay, so this is the thing. So after calculation, so we have to get P from this. You have to get P from this. So you will get the value of P, because this is in terms of P and this we have already calculated, MD by Z, ML by Z. If you see here, yes, we have to calculate here MD by Z and ML by Z we have calculated already. Okay, so now here we have this by the equation. As I told you, you have to equate the stresses at the bottom fiber is equal to 0. At the bottom fiber is equal to 0 means, if I draw the basic stress distribution diagram here, already I had done that. So first you will get due to direct stress P by A, then because of load this is like this, and one more because of dead load and live load, this is dead load, and if you consider pre-stress it will be opposite like this. I have explained this in n number of times. So this is md by z, ml by z, and p by that is p by z. Okay, p by a, md by z, ml by z, and p by z. So this is plus minus plus minus minus plus. So what they asked to calculate the bottom. This is bottom, na? They asked to calculate the stress at the bottom. So this will become P by J plus P by A. The equation will be minus MD by Z minus ML by Z plus P by Z. Same it is shown here. Plus ML P by Z. You can see here. Plus P by A minus MD by Z minus ML by Z plus P by Z equal to 0. Understood? This is only the basic thing. So from this you have to calculate P. Okay. So the P is calculated here, and you have got it as 5.36 kilonewton. Understood? So this is the calculation for P. So now let's move on to the next problem. That is, I'll read out the statement here again. Yes. PSC beam supports a UDL of 8 kN per meter for a span of 8 meter. Its cross section is 200 mm by 600 mm. Suggest a suitable cable profile. If the maximum eccentricity is restricted to 100 mm, find the effective pressurizing force for the following condition at midspan. So the bending effect of the load, that is live load and sulfate, is to be nullified by the pressurizing force, first condition. And second is, if the pressure line passes through the upper current point of this section under the action of live load, sulfate, and pressure line. These two conditions. With respect to these two conditions, we have to find out the pressurizing force. Okay, so we'll have the given data as per the problem. W is given, span L meter, L is equal to 8 meter, eccentricity is given 100 mm, and it is a straight cable, because they are not mentioned about which cable profile, so we have to consider it as a straight cable now. 100 mm. Now A is, you can calculate A, I, and Z. Okay, so now here, okay, so this is a sketch again as per the given data. Now by equating M is equal to P into E, that is bending, the balancing, M is equal to P into E, so WL. Okay, then again we have WD 0.2. You don't look out here. First WL is equal to 8 kN per meter, WD is 0.2, 0.624. So if you add, you will get the total load is WL plus WD. If you add, so we will get 10.88 kN per meter. Okay, so therefore M is equal to WL square by 8. Already we have calculated here, sulfate plus live load. So M is equal to WL square by 8. So we will get this as a moment. Okay, now after that what you have to do? Okay, now next is, so therefore P is equal to M by E. So M you have calculated divided by E, so we got P. So first case, what they asked to calculate, first case, yes, the bending effect of the load, that is live load plus sulfate, is to be nullified by the pressurizing force. Means the quantity of pressurizing force required to nullify the bending effect due to live load and sulfate. So same you have calculated. So we have calculated the bending moment. We have calculated the bending moment here. Then with respect to that bending moment, we have got this much pressurizing force is required to nullify the bending effect. After that, what they asked, if the pressure line is passing through upper current point, then what should be the pressurizing force is required. Now important thing is here you have to understand what is current point and what will happen if it is passing through the pressure line is passing through upper current point and lower current point. Okay, now if you see, this is the cross section of beam, a particular beam section, and this is a zone of, or we call it as a kern zone. So with respect to the center, it is called as KT and KB. KT stand for upper kern zone and KB stand for bottom kern zone. Okay, T or top, B for bottom, or top kern zone or upper kern zone, KB bottom kern zone. Okay, or kern point. So this is the location of kern point. Okay, and we know that if this is a T and this is a P or C, okay, if the pre-stressing force is applied, so that will be pressure line P over C and it will be T. So this will be the stress distribution diagram when C coincides with the top kern point. Okay, when C or the pressure line coincides with top kern point. So this is the top kern point. Okay, coincides with top kern point, and C coincides with bottom kern point. अगर आपका kern point if it is passing through this, so we will get maximum stresses here and the stresses at the bottom will be 0. Are you getting my point? If the pressure line passing through the top or the upper kern point, the maximum stresses will be at top zone, bottom zone will be 0. But if the pressure line coincides with bottom kern zone, C coincides with bottom kern zone or kern point, the stresses at bottom zone will be maximum and here it will be 0. Or third case, if the pressure line is out of kern zone, it is nowhere acting here, it is away from the kern zone, so you will get the pressure distribution like this. But what they asked in the problem, what they asked, I'll read out here. If the pressure line passes through the upper kern point, the section, upper kern point of the section under the action of live load, self-weight and pre-stress. So that time what will happen, when the pressure line is coincides with upper kern zone or the kern point, the stresses will be 0 at the bottom. So we have to equate 0 for the bottom stress. Okay, or I'll just brief out what is kern point or kern zone, kern section. Kern section is a region in which compressive point load may applied without producing any tensile stresses. Note, when the pressure line passes or coincides with the upper kern zone, the stresses in the bottom fiber shall be equal to 0. Understood? So we have to equate all the stresses is equal to 0 for bottom fiber. Then if you equate it 0, you can easily find out P. Understood? Or vice versa. If they ask in the problem, the kern point is the pressure line is passing through bottom kern point, so that time you have to make change here. What you have to make change? Stresses in the top fiber shall be equal to 0. Here what they are given in the bottom fiber, so bottom fiber. Understood? Here in this case what they are given, the pressure line is passing through upper kern zone. So when the pressure line is passing through upper kern, the bottom stress will be 0. And vice versa, if the pressure line is passing through bottom kern, so the upper stress will be 0. Okay, so that time the sign convention you have to check and you have to equate it to 0. So again by substituting here P by A, P by Z, MD by Z and ML by Z, okay, by equating everything, and when you solve you will get the value of P as 436.75 kilonewton. The value of P as 436.75 kilonewton. Okay, I'll show you here just. So after solution of, when you solve and get this final equation, so you will get the value of P as 436.75 kilonewton. Okay, so this is regarding the load balancing method. Okay, so this way, this type of problems you can accept in the examination. Okay, so you have to follow this, solve the problems, and if you get any confusion or queries, you can contact me. Okay, thank you.